feel at a young age I was very influenced by lots of tutors and technicians, and they kind of saw a flair in craft and my enjoyment through it. And with that, my parents kind of very much encouraged it, and that kind of then led me on to understand and have the opportunity to learn about materials and processes. And also I like the feeling and the satisfaction that you get once you've made something with your own hands. Kind of makes me feel quite proud of what I've made and the piece in front of me. Also I feel it gives me quite confidence in craft. Craft gives me a lot of confidence to speak to other people and to chat about it. I kind of feel like I'm alive in that sense. And also it helps with mental well-being. I believe that, once you put your mind to it, anything is possible, and I'm able to do that through craft.
And craft is often considered an immersive activity. How does this apply to your own practice, and what is the balance and approach between cognitive thinking and haptic or fine motor skills?
I feel that it's become quite immersive in my everyday life. I've recently moved into a house on my own, and I've noticed sort of the side of craft in interior design, so sort of designing things to fit in my house and making furniture and things which I haven't got in my house already. I always carry around a notepad with me to jot down any ideas that I have and things that might pop into my head when I'm in day-to-day life. I also create a sketchbook. I find creating a sketchbook kind of helps trigger sort of my thought process before I begin a project. I wouldn't really necessarily say I'm a reactive maker in the sense that I don't necessarily straight away make. I have to do the sketchbook work and kind of put what's in my head down on paper in order to start. I feel then once I've started the idea, I then materials and process and kind of find a trial and error period where I look at materials and see whether they suit my idea and kind of play around with whether they work or not. And then once they work, I kind of, then carry that idea whilst producing a sketchbook alongside.
And to what extent has your prior education, both specialist and state-led, contributed to your understanding and ongoing development of your practice?
Well, since going to school and doing art at school, college and university, I've found that develop throughout, even leading up to leaving university. I've found that I've become more independent as a maker, and I've kind of grasped a sense of my own identity as a maker, and have a unique quality about the look of my work as well as me personally and how I make. However, I do feel that the educational system follows a criteria. So it was only until I did a work placement with a lady that I noticed the more broader aspect of design and the wider world, which I didn't feel the educational system helped me with very much. So since doing that, it kind of made me realise more commercial-based things and who my target audience was and things that I needed to aim for within my work to obviously get it out there.
And following on from that question, how does your practice continue to evolve? And are there any additional factors or inherited knowledge, such as ancestral skills, that contribute to this?
I feel I haven't really stopped making. I've tried not to, and tried to continuously do that. And since getting a new job, I'm a glass worker now, so that's been a very new skill that I've learned, and something that I've found that I can then adapt to, my knowledge in furniture and woodwork. So I'm kind of trying at the moment to combine the two mediums together. And also I feel this has kind of been reflective in my chair project, as I've combined wood and glass, but also at work they do leather wrapping and metal lathe work, which I've combined in my chair. also I feel I've inherited a flair and passion from my dad. He's helped me build a workshop at home as well as really encouraged me to make, and I feel that I've been able then to kind of work and make at home as well as at work as well, so very good.
And how do you see the future of craft, both in its present guise and in response to global, political, social and economic and environmental changes?
I feel that it's continuously evolving. I feel there always will be a demand for objects by consumers, and I feel technology is rapidly evolving as well, but I do feel that this will never overtake a handcrafted object made by a maker. I feel that people nowadays are becoming more aware of what they have and what they've purchased and where it's come from and who's made it. I feel that this will never be replaced by a computerized object or computer CAD or any of that. And I feel it's a handmade object, the future of it is it has more value and more personal, you can make it personal now, so things can be personalised to the actual consumer. However, I found that since working in a company, the industry of craft has become quite secretive. I feel that some knowledge and skills are being withheld, so people aren't necessarily, because it's becoming such a competitive industry, aren't necessarily sharing those skills. However, I feel communities have kind of, overrided this in the sense that there's lots of classes now that you can go to and make things, and on Thursday I go to an upcycling and we can make things there, and it's also awareness of sustainability as well, so we upcycle products. That's how I feel, through communities it's kind of broadened the awareness then of art and design, and feel the future is very optimistic and quite dependable on the generations that follow. So, the encouragement through people and craft.
Following on from just to touch on, you talked about sustainability there. We live in a material world now, and it is a throwaway society, but people are obviously far more conscious of that.
Yeah.
Do you see us returning to a place where people used to fix things? There was a lot more kind of make do, and because it can come from you've talked about a desire for people wanting an object. There'll always be that desire for objects, but do you think there'll be that which you would hope that means people want well-made objects and items?
Yeah.
But do you see a return to people that spirit of that community spirit of people mending things, fixing things?
Yeah, I see that becoming, even at the upcycling, we mend furniture to then sell, but mend furniture that is necessarily unwanted to people. So we mend that, and then it gives it a new lease of life in the sense that then somebody else will then have that piece of furniture. I think, that's quite a way forward in the sense that there are classes to go to that you can go and take your piece of furniture and mend it, and take an item and mend it, and kind of make it into a new object and as such.